I am a coach and an alum of Girls on the Run. Kids today carry a lot of stress, from school pressure to social isolation to overuse of devices. We create a space where girls can connect, build confidence, and learn skills like managing emotions, setting goals, and speaking up. Each child's experience is different, and families need support. I'm proud to be part of a comprehensive solution to youth mental health. Get involved today at EmpowerOurFutureCoalition.com.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros. No trade-in needed. That's right. Get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Hey! You want to pay just $10 for your phone service at Boost Mobile? Just $10 for your phone service at Boost Mobile? Yeah! I totally do!
This holiday, the best gift is for you. Pay just $10 a month for the first 2 months, then $25 a month forever with unlimited data, talk, and text. Offer valid at boostmobile.com. After your first 2 months, you'll pay $25 a month unless you go online or call to cancel. Requires autopay.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros. No trade-in needed. That's right. Get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
I am a coach and an alum of Girls on the Run. Kids today carry a lot of stress, from school pressure to social isolation to overuse of devices. We create a space where girls can connect, build confidence, and learn skills like managing emotions, setting goals, and speaking up. Each child's experience is different, and families need support. I'm proud to be part of a comprehensive solution to youth mental health. Get involved today at EmpowerOurFutureCoalition.com.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to day 2 of 12 days of Festive Frights. On today's episode, I have 3 stories to share. I'll get straight into them. Are you ready for the first story? A feeling my mum and I experienced in a forest. I live in Victoria, Australia, and we don't get snow unless you venture up the mountain area where the climate is significantly colder. As expected, I very rarely see snow in person. So during my childhood, my mum and I would visit my papa up in Glenorchy, Victoria, at least once a year. He would drive us up a nearby mountain where we would indulge in what little snow we could play in. It was never particularly much. I loved it. I have a distinct memory of the nausea and the bending roads, and my ears getting blocked from descending so fast. And I'll never forget the fear that our car would swerve off the narrow road and roll off the cliff. Good old times. It was one of these trips that my mum and I were on a small hike through a thriving forest up in the mountains. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of the location, as I was around 8 to 11 years old at the time. There wasn't much snow, as usual, just patches, but it was beautiful, and there was no one else in sight. I can't recall why it was just the two of us at that moment. My papa did have a short temper at times, so possibly my mum wanted a break from him. I remember feeling so content with our lives at that moment. Then this feeling washed over us. A feeling of impending doom and danger. It was a sinking feeling in my chest. I remember asking my mum something like, "Do you feel that too?" As we just stood there, bewildered. We felt that we didn't belong here, that we should leave immediately. Now, might I add that this was during the day, not at night. I'd been in Scouts most of my childhood and was also very familiar with this type of environment. Yet, here we were, frantically looking around for the source of this dread we were feeling deep in our guts. It felt like we were being watched, like 1,000 judgmental eyes were on us. It was so intimidating. I remember my heart beating rapidly and my body shaking as we quickly paced back to my papa's car. There was no sound of sticks breaking, no ominous figures within the trees, and no growling of a monstrous creature. Just a feeling. I asked my mum to describe her side of the story, and she remembers an image in her head of a large creature crawling up the mountain to get us. She felt as if it was in the wind. Every big gust, it would come closer and closer. There was a nagging voice in her to leave, yelling, "Get out," over and over again, and getting louder the longer we were there. It's a bit dramatic, but still an interesting interpretation of the same event. Unfortunately, nothing else happened that day. We made it back to the car safely and proceeded with our trip. Maybe it was for the best. Who knows? I thought I was the only one who remembered this experience, and I just assumed that it was all in my head. After all, I was a very anxious child, and my mind could have exaggerated the whole event. However, it was only a couple of years ago that my mum mentioned it, and I realised that it really did happen. It makes me so happy, because I crave these paranormal / unexplained experiences in my life. I've had very little luck. Maybe it's my sceptical thoughts that hinder me from accepting that our world is a lot more supernatural than we perceive it. I don't know the history of the location, sadly, because that could provide a possible explanation for the event. Was it supernatural? A negative entity? Cursed land? I am aware of numerous places deemed cursed by Indigenous Australian communities and landmarks they outright refuse to set foot on. Or it could just be a one-time experience, some force just passing through and not originating in that area. My mum is also a very spiritual individual and is more open about these encounters. She has experienced similar feelings in other locations. One, in fact, recently, while she was visiting houses on the market. It was a shed in the backyard of a property that triggered this feeling. She sensed such a strong urge to leave that area and not move any closer to that shed. There was something inherently wrong with it, or a negative presence residing in it. Who knows? It really fascinates me. I know how mysterious this phenomenon is. Do you guys have an explanation? I'd love to hear your thoughts and own personal experiences. And apologies for the long and uneventful story. It's one of those stories that I think most of us have probably experienced something similar to at some point in our lives. Me, it was in a wood called Goblin Coombe. And it was just the most eerie feeling I've ever had in a place. And it was like, get me out of here quick. So it's one of those things where not really a lot goes on, but something is going on for sure. Are you ready for the second story? Giant chicken prints in the snow. I was probably 17 to 18 at the time. So like in 2011 to 12, my buddy, who lived a few blocks away from me, stole a rosary off a headstone at the cemetery. This is an old cemetery, like the founders of our town are buried there, and connected to the cemetery is an old farmhouse. The whole area is definitely haunted. We would always shortcut through there to get to our neighbourhood. I wasn't with him when he took it, but I met up with him at his house that night. We were all just hanging out on the couch when his phone rang. His phone was on the coffee table next to the rosary. The caller ID read, unavailable, misspelled and all. The number that showed on the phone was 666 666 6666. We all got spooked. I told him to answer it, but he didn't. After a while, I went home for the night, and this all happened during the 3 days a year we have snow/ice in Texas. The next day, we met up again, and I kid you not, there were these giant chicken prints that came from the creek we had to cross over between our neighbourhood and the cemetery, going right up to the window of his room, where we were all hanging out the night before. These prints were bigger than my hand. It had 3 toes facing forward and another smaller one facing backward, identical to a chicken, just much bigger. What's also weird is that the tracks just ended at the window. There were no tracks leaving the window. Anybody have any clue what kind of demon, spirit, or cryptid could manipulate the phone and have a physical footprint? What is it? What leaves large chicken prints in the snow? What could it be? I'd love to hear what people think this might be. It could be some demonic type spirit, especially stealing a rosary from a cemetery. I mean, you're just asking for trouble, aren't you? I thought the call was really freaky, and that the number that showed was all the 6s. No thanks. I think I'd be the same. Go on, answer it. Answer it. Are you ready for the third and final story? So I live in a rural place and in a heavily wooded area. I've always felt totally safe in the woods, even at night. I used to go for night walks all the time. I'm not really a skeptic. I do believe in some paranormal things, though I've never had an experience until this one. Regardless, I still always try to find the most logical explanation, and don't often feel scared or unnerved by things. This experience, however, really freaked me out, and I've been thinking about it ever since it happened, so I thought I'd share. So this was a few weeks ago. My parents had gone to bed, but I wanted to stay up late, so I settled into the living room to read. Our living room has these giant windows, almost covering the entire wall. I left the blinds open and turned on one lamp and sat right by the window. My elderly dog, who had been let out already to go to the bathroom for the night and was back inside, started pacing the house and barking and wouldn't settle down. This is unlike her. She's super old, so she usually goes right to bed. and she knows not to bark in the house like that. We let her out again, and she wanted right back in. We gave her some food, and still for about an hour, she kept pacing and barking. She wasn't even barking at the windows or looking outside. She just paced up and down the halls and barked at nothing in particular. This kind of weirds me out. I just shrugged it off, and then she finally settled down to sleep in my parents' bedroom. About 20 minutes later, I'm reading on the couch by the window with my cat, when I hear an animal walking outside. I only hear it take a few steps. It sounded large, and I figured it was probably a deer. My cat jumps up and acts super interested in what's outside, pacing up and down the windowsill and peering out there. Then, after a few minutes, the screen of the window furthest from me across the room starts shaking violently, like something is shaking stroke banging on them really hard. Again, these windows span the whole wall. It startled me, and I looked over. I couldn't make anything out in the dark or see what was outside, and then the shaking stroke banging grew even more violent, and the windows next to me started shaking too. My cat freaked out and ran out of the room. At this point, I was really scared, and I did something you'll probably think is kind of silly. I literally closed my eyes and threw the blanket over my head and waited for it to stop. The shaking lasted for several more seconds. I remember being taken aback at how much force seemed to be behind it. I just couldn't bring myself to look. I had an awful feeling, and I think if I looked and saw something horrible, it would really traumatize me. It finally stopped, and I stayed under the blanket for 2 entire hours before I could work up the nerve to get up and go to my bedroom. The next morning, after I wake up, I've calmed down a lot and figured it was probably some kind of animal. I went outside to go look at the window to see if I could find tracks or something and look at the screens. What I found made my skin crawl. There was a single long diagonal slash in the window screen of the window I was sitting right next to. If you're standing in front of where the slash is and looking inside, the slash aligns right over the spot I was sitting. No tracks. So that's creepy. And what's weird to me, if it were an animal, why weren't there more slashes? Just one single deliberate slash is strange. There were absolutely no scratch marks or slashes anywhere else on the screens or around the windows, just that one. The other screens were just pretty loose now. If it was a bird, I would have heard wings flapping. I feel like I would have heard animal sounds if it were any kind of animal. If it was a person, which is even scarier to me, I would think someone who would do something like this would have taken it further and probably would have done more to scare and intimidate than just shaking some windows and slashing one and then leaving just to scare me. Besides the shaking stroke banging, there were absolutely no other sounds, and since we live rurally, the chance that it was a person seems more unlikely. It really freaks me out, but there's nothing I can really do about it other than put up trail cams. Nothing like this has ever happened to me the entire time I've lived here. A few nights before this happened, I actually started feeling some bad vibes from the woods at night, to be honest. Like I said, I'm normally very at ease with them. I was out smoking a few nights before in my backyard and just felt like I was being watched and something was making my skin crawl. And I'd been avoiding going outside at night again, and then this happened. This experience really kind of freaked me out, but there is not much I can do except put up some cameras. Thanks for reading. Update. So something new happened. I don't know if that many people read this post anymore, since it's old, but I thought I'd share. So I was actually only home for Christmas break, and I hadn't put up cameras before leaving to go back to school in another city, even though I urged my parents to. I recently visited again, and they told me about something eerie that had happened just after I left. Our backyard has regular wooden fences and a regular simple gate that has the common lift-up latch to open and close it. Something ripped off the bottom of the wooden planks of the fence, a section that was only a few feet from the gate. It was thick wood. It had been fine for the decade-ish it's been there. It would take something with a lot of strength and articulation to rip off the planks in the violent manner they were. You could tell they were ripped off in a clean snap, not something slowly tearing them apart or something. The scratch marks were also bizarre. There were several scratches that were perfectly horizontal across the wood. What animal would make perfectly horizontal scratches against a vertical fence? And there was one set of puncture marks on one plank, like something sunk claws into it and out one time. I'm thoroughly creeped out. Legitimate advice on how to seek someone to help me with dealing with something like this would be very appreciated. Please message me if you can help me or have any advice or know anybody. I'm actually very concerned now.
So here's the thing with homemade meals. Eating them is great, but all the chopping and measuring and cleanup, not so much. With new one-pan assemble and bake meals from Blue Apron, you get all the flavor of homemade meals with a fraction of the work. Just assemble the pre-chopped ingredients, bake in the oven, and enjoy. Shop, assemble, and bake at BlueApron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit BlueApron.com/terms for more.
What are you reaching for? If you're a smoker or vapor, you could be reaching for so much more with Zyn nicotine pouches. When you reach for Zyn, you're reaching for 10 satisfying varieties and 2 strengths for a smoke-free experience that lets you lean in. For chances to break free from your routine and a unique nationwide community. Whatever you're reaching for, reach for it with America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Find yours in wherever nicotine products are sold near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
I really don't think it's silly to hide under your blanket, because that is exactly what I'd be doing in that situation. You really want to know what it was. I don't think it was Bigfoot. I really don't. I think it's some kind of other forest creature. And why it was stalking around, who knows? Maybe it was Krampus. Well, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
I am a coach and an alum of Girls on the Run. Kids today carry a lot of stress, from school pressure to social isolation to overuse of devices. We create a space where girls can connect, build confidence, and learn skills like managing emotions, setting goals, and speaking up. Each child's experience is different, and families need support. I'm proud to be part of a comprehensive solution to youth mental health. Get involved today at EmpowerOurFutureCoalition.com.
If you're the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, you know having a trusted partner makes all the difference. That's why, hands down, you count on Grainger for auto reordering. With on-time restocks, your team will have the cut-resistant gloves they need at the start of their shift. And you can end your day knowing they've got safety well in hand. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.